Good evening. I would like to call us to order. This is the July 20th meeting of the West Lafayette Community School Corporation Board of Trustees. Hopefully this will be a fairly brief meeting. David is on his way. His last meeting ran late, so he will be sneaking in here momentarily. There are no special recognitions this evening, and did anyone sign up to communicate from the audience? I don't think so, probably, unless George wants to address us. Okay, thank you. So, George Jr., sorry. So in that case, it's time for the consent agenda, and I'd take a motion if anyone would like.
Some of the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, George. I will do the buttons here real quick, and we can start the vote to approve the consent agenda. And that is 5-0. Well, I guess count David as an abstention.
I don't know if we can do that since he's.
No? Okay, we'll just count him as not here yet. Okay, then we'll just leave it as 5-0. And then the next item is unfinished business, which there is none. Okay, new business, Dr. Greiner. Sorry, surprise.
This is just the extension of the personnel report. Information was shared with the board regarding this prospective employee. Hiring recommendation is required by law to be separate from the personnel report as part of the consent agenda. So it's the separate vote.
I need a motion, please.
I need a motion to approve this hire.
Thank you, Lawrence. Is there a second? Thank you. All right, and is there any discussion? No. Okay, in that case, we will go ahead and, and David is arriving. Welcome. We were just working on the first item under new business, which was the item outside the personnel report, and we're just ready to take the vote if you don't have any discussion. Okay, great, thank you. So there we go. And that passes 6-0. Great. All righty. Next item is interviews of our prospective board candidates. So, Melissa, if you want to come forward, I think it'll make it a little bit easier. Here's what we're going to do. I know. Well, we're going to give you the opportunity to answer the first question first, and then you'll answer the second question first, Kale, and we'll go back and forth so that it's fair and nobody's speaking first all the time. And at the end, you'll have the opportunity to share anything that you didn't get an opportunity to speak about during the interview questions, which we gave you in advance. Any questions? Great. Okay. So Melissa, you'll go first on question 1, which is Indiana school boards have distinct governance responsibilities, including setting policy, approving budgets, hiring and evaluating the superintendent, and maintaining appropriate governance boundaries. How do you view the role of a school board member, and how would you work effectively with the superintendent and district administration? And I've got a timer for 3 minutes. I used to, and then it disappeared. There we go. Go. Hi.
School board's responsibility is to establish a clear vision for the district, adopt policies that support student success, ensure fiscal responsibility, hire and evaluate the superintendent, and represent the interests of the community while thinking of students first. It's also the board's job to educate the community on whatever the schools are doing and how they can be involved both locally and at the state level. Building a strong professional relationship with the superintendent is essential, and I've had the opportunity to work with Dr. Greiner on the Public Schools Foundation of Tippecanoe County in my capacity on parent council and on various district hiring committees that I've served on. I would continue to work collaboratively by maintaining open and honest communication, establishing clear goals and expectations, and evaluating performance based on measurable outcomes that align with the district's strategic plan.
Okay, thank you. And Kale, come on down.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So
Same question.
I'm Kale Bigelow. It's like the vegetable, but not. So that was a joke. Sorry.
I liked it.
Anyway. So my opinion of this is, the school administration runs the schools, right? The responsibility of the board is to govern things, to pay attention to the bylaws and make sure that things are actually happening the way they're supposed to be happening. Interacting with the school administration, I think, is certainly important on lots of levels. And, I look forward to the potential of learning more.
Okay,
So
thank
again,
you.
just in summary, the administrators run the schools and the board helps to govern.
Okay, thank you. Question number 2, come on back. You're first on this one, Cale, not the vegetable.
So it says, what experiences have best prepared you to serve effectively for your first board meeting? First and foremost, I'm an educator. Education is extremely important to me. So everything that I do, I take it through the lens of an educator. I mentioned in some of the things that I gave you before, current and past experiences, served on a variety of different boards. I've been certainly a professor with lots of committee experience. And so those committees are a challenge at times, right? So not unfamiliar to things like Robert's Rules of Order, not unfamiliar to the process and respecting the process and moving through the process. I've been on boards with, like I said, the university, also through our local church. I've served on a variety of different boards for that. And then also, when my children were very, very small, I was also on the Montessori School of Greater Lafayette's board. So
Okay,
there's a little bit of experience there.
that's a lot. Thank you. Melissa, come on down. Same question. What experiences have prepared you?
So I have 4 years of prior school board experience, and I've been actively involved with the schools since I have not been on the board. I serve currently on several nonprofit boards and have benefited from the professional development opportunities for board governance, like the Everly Board Governance Session that's put on by the Community Foundation and the Indiana Association of Public School Foundations annual meetings I've attended multiple years. I've served on several hiring committees for the school corporation. I've been an executive member of the parent council and an active member both inside and outside of our school volunteering in various capacities. Read to Succeed, the backpack program. I do several of those things in our schools. I understand that many procedural practices have changed since my time on the board, but I am committed to getting up to speed on those changes quickly. And I've also been a member of the Sounding Board Committee for the upcoming referendum, and I am up to date on the current financial needs of the school corporation with regards to that.
Thank you. Oh, stay put, because you get to answer the next one first. Number 3, school board members often have to balance the interests of students, families, staff, taxpayers, and the broader community. Tell us about a time you had to weigh competing perspectives and how you reached a decision.
Well, every day, right? But those are my kids, and that's how they're so one of the most significant decisions that I made involved choosing not to return to work, instead remaining home to care for my children. I had to weigh competing perspectives, including my professional goals, my family's financial considerations, my children's developmental needs, and the long-term well-being of our household. Before making the decision, my spouse and I had many conversations about what was best for our family, and we considered what each path would mean for each of our children and our family life, childcare costs, college savings, our long-term financial goals, and personal goals. And while there wasn't a perfect answer, I realized that the choice that best aligned with our family values was for me to stay at home. And so making that decision taught me that good leadership isn't about finding a solution that satisfies every competing interest. It's about listening carefully, considering different perspectives, and making thoughtful decisions based on what will have the greatest long-term benefit.
Thank you. Okay, Cale, same question.
This is fun.
It's like a game show, really.
So same question,
Yeah.
number 3.
Yep, number 3.
So my response to number 3, certainly life and work at the university is dynamic. And again, I have had the opportunity to serve on numerous committees, including things like the university, college, and departmental strategic plans. In addition, as a vestry member of our family's church, I've gone through similar types of situations where there are competing commitments. What these experiences have reinforced to me is you cannot please everyone, and it can be a difficult and emotional situation for many people. And some examples of things that I've had to deal with is about 10 years ago, I worked for the College of Agriculture at Purdue. They did what they called a plant science realignment, okay, and basically allowed individuals that work with plants, me, to choose different departments that may be more aligned with things strategically for the long term. Myself and another colleague actually left our home department and moved to a different department, which I'm currently in the horticulture and landscape architecture department. And That was a challenge because there were resources that left one department and went to another department. There were student numbers that went from one department into another department. There was equipment, scholarships, all these other kinds of things. And there were some people with some hurt feelings when we left. So I've certainly dealt with those kinds of things. In addition, about 8 or so years ago, we had a capital campaign for our church, and there were some refurbishments and things that were of interest to that. And they were trying to raise a certain amount of money, and one of the key items that created a bit of consternation for people was they had a 100-year-old organ, and the organ needed to be replaced. They had surveyed different individuals inside the church as far as how important is this organ. And I don't know if you know the price tag on organs, but they're not cheap. We're talking, 6 figures and up to replace things. And there were a lot of people that were very much interested in maintaining this organ and improving this organ because of the music being important to the church. But by the same token, there were a lot of other people that had other ideas because of some of the issues, the social issues that we have in the community and where some of those monies should be spent. So again, navigating and talking to people and explaining the rationale, and it was a board decision and there was a lot of conversation. Those kinds of things are also important. And as I mentioned, we also, in a previous part of my life, I was on the Montessori school board. And so there was some property expansion kinds of things where the school was actually growing. And there were a lot of questions about who was paying for the property and where it was coming from. So again, these kinds of difficult issues at times are not something that's new to me. So.
Okay, thank you. Oh, stay put. Are you next?
Okay, the next one.
All right, number 4, why are you interested in serving in this interim role, and what do you hope to contribute during the next 5 months?
As I've mentioned, I've served on a lot of different things, and service is important to me. My children both graduated from West Lafayette High School. Most recently, our daughter graduated in 2019. I've become a little bit distanced from the school corporation, but I feel like, it's time for me to give back again, and I would like to do that. And I'd like to re-engage the process and understand where the school system is now and see if there's ways that I can, in any way, provide some of my talents and some of my perspectives. My family's lived in the community for decades, and so we know sort of past, present, and potential future kinds of things. And so I'd be happy to help in any way possible.
Okay, thank you. Melissa, same question. Why are you interested in serving in the interim role?
So I'm interested in serving in the interim role because I believe periods of transition are especially important for maintaining stability, continuity, and public confidence in our school district. In the next 5 months, present an opportunity to ensure that the board continues to function effectively while supporting the superintendent, district staff, students, and the community. The next 5 months are extremely a busy time for our district with the budget and with the referendum campaign and the superintendent evaluation. All of those things are coming up in this next 5 months. I hope to contribute being well-prepared, collaborative, and respectful of differing viewpoints. I would bring a commitment to fiscal responsibility, transparent decision-making, and adherence to board policies while maintaining appropriate governance boundaries. And I have served on boards with 5 of the 7 current school board members on various boards. And so I do feel like I have built relationships with several of them that are collaborative.
Okay, thanks. You're back. Yeah.
I like the break.
Deep breath.
Right.
West Lafayette has a highly engaged community with strong expectations for academic excellence while also experiencing changing community needs. How would you build trust and communicate with community members, especially when opinions differ?
Well, West Lafayette is fortunate to have a community that deeply values its schools. Actively engaged parents, our community is engaged in everyone's success. And while that level of involvement can sometimes lead to differing opinions, it also reflects a shared commitment to providing the best possible outcome for our students. I believe effective communication and building trust begins with listening to understand rather than simply responding. I strive to approach every conversation with empathy and an open mind. Our community is filled with talented individuals who bring a wide range of expertise and perspectives, and I believe their voices are an important part of thoughtful decision-making. Throughout my time serving on the school board and as an executive member of Parent Council, I've made a priority to be accessible to parents, staff, students, and community members whenever possible. When opinions differ, I believe it's important to communicate openly and transparently about the board's role, the information being considered, and the reasons behind the decisions. And while consensus is not always possible, people are more likely to trust the process when they know that they've been listened to and they understand why the decisions are being made. And that's the best you can do. Ultimately, my goal is to foster relationships built on honesty, respect, and collaboration while keeping every decision focused on what's best for students and the long-term success of our schools.
Okay, thanks. Kale, same question. Back to number 5. And then one more, and then we're done. Speed round is almost over.
Again, my family's lived here for many, many years. I've certainly seen some ebbs and flows, in terms of opinions and situations that have happened with the school board. I think that, to her point, we are a community that has a dynamic group of opinions, which is really nice for the Midwest. And I've listened to both of those over the years in terms of situations, whether it's expansions at West Side High School or a new pool or all the kinds of things that have happened over the years. And I think that, to her point, being honest and being transparent with why the decisions were made and that it's a board decision, it's not an individual decision. Generally, people are going to respect those kinds of things. So as far as the visibility, I think, attendance at appropriate events, and like I said, my family has been in the community for a long time, so we know a number of different families, and it's not hard to find people to reach out to sometimes and say, hey, your previous experience in this situation, what was the background on that, and how did that get navigated? And we have a similar situation now, and perhaps we need to look to the past to promote the future. So anyway. And then
Okay.
the last question.
Yes, please. Is there anything else you'd like us to know?
I don't think there's a wrong decision. I think you have, 2 individuals that are willing to serve on this board, and I think would give you, an additional bit of talent to the board in terms of knowledge, experience, and all the things. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak my mind.
Thank you. You're done. You're done with public speaking for the day. And I did a terrible job with the timer, so, no, it was very quick,
that worked out.
very efficient. Thank you. On behalf of the whole board, I'd like to thank you both for being here. The next meeting in August, I will ask for a motion to affirm one of the candidates, then we can have discussion. And I will be contacting, or you could watch, I suppose, or I'll be contacting you after to let you know the outcome either way. And that's the plan. Does anybody have any questions about the plan? Okay, super. Do you have any questions? Are you still willing to serve if you're chosen? Okay, after all that. Okay, great.
We haven't scared you off.
We haven't, yeah, usually it takes us a little longer than that to scare people off. What's that?
Just to say thank you for being willing to serve on the board. And regardless of the result, I really, really appreciate you and to be willing to do the public service. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you to both of you too. Thanks for your presentations tonight, and thank you for your support to the degree that you would be willing to come and serve during this interim, because it is a very important time, as you said, Melissa. And thank you both for your dedication to our community and our great schools. I appreciate you.
All right, and we have no superintendent report, no board report, and the next meeting will be August 10th at 5 o'clock if we need a work session, and 6 otherwise. And with that, I need a motion to adjourn, please. Lauren? And is there a second? Okay, cool, and let's vote real quick on that. And we can go home at a record 5:23. Amazing.